Agassi walks once again. He started coming here in 1986, a champion once, hopeful of being a champion again. And as we welcome you to NBC's 35th year of coverage at the championships Wimbledon, we're honored to stand here on the world's most famous tennis court. But Mary and John, I can't help but think how strange it is that we're 50 feet away from those famous doors and that this year, for the first time in 15 years, we won't see Pete Sampras walk through them.
That's really something, isn't it? To my mind, Pete Sampras is the greatest player of all time, and no less a man than Andre Agassi has said, when asked who the top 5 players in the history of tennis have been, Sampras, 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 and Sampras. I know he never won the French Open. I don't care. He's the greatest player that certainly I've ever seen play, and it has been an honor to watch him play under my watch, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Well, there's a lot more players out there that believe they have a better chance, including as great a player, because I'll put Andre Agassi as one of the greatest players of all time, Mr. Agassi. Guys like El Aynaoui, hey, maybe I can go farther and never possibly go all the way.
All right, now Andy Roddick is already through to the round of 16. Do you think Agassi has a tough road today?
I think El Aynaoui, as he showed Roddick down in Australia, is come a long way. These are like fine wines, these two guys out there, better than ever, over 30, the two of them. El Aynaoui's a tricky, crafty customer. He plays excellent tennis. I think he's going to give Andre a pretty hard time. I think Andre's going to get through this match, but El Aynaoui's going to give him all he can handle.
All right, we'll also see Serena Williams today, and Mary, Venus is through to the round of 16, looking good form. Serena as well?
Venus is looking better than she looked the last time she tried to win this last year, where she lost to her kid sister in the final. Serena's looking pretty well. I had to tell you, the American women look really good. Venus and Serena. Lindsay Davenport is serving so big that she's made an easy time of it for herself, and Jennifer Capriati as well. Americans are looking good on the women's side.
Well, it is indeed a glorious day. Center court, the championships Wimbledon. We kick things off with Andre Agassi against Younes El Aynaoui next on NBC. Three months ago, Younes El Aynaoui said his tennis dream was to meet Andre Agassi on the center court of a major tournament. And they did play in a major tournament in Miami. But there's no greater center court than this as they prepare to meet for a berth in the round of 16. And what seems like a rarity in the tennis world, two players over the age of 30. And you can make an argument that both El Aynaoui for sure and Agassi perhaps as well, playing as well as they ever have.
It's amazing to see Agassi in the locker room just before the match. He appears to be quite relaxed, casual. He barely gets things going, it appears. He walks out onto that tennis court. The first point of the match, I mean, he hits the ball as clean as anyone ever hit it in the history of the game. El Aynaoui's jumping around, you know, trying to break the sweat before he goes out there. You've got to do what works, obviously, for yourself. Two totally different approaches. What's amazing, though, you see Agassi, I mean, he's already broken a sweat, as you can see. So it's a rather warm day here in London. He plays so intensely, even in the warm-up. These are two, I should add, extremely fit men.
Well, he's a terrific starter. Agassi begins the match with an easy game on his serve.
First game.
Agassi now 33. Been #1 briefly on 2 different occasions this year.
He's one of them being right now.
Yeah.
He's seeded 2 here, but ranked #1. He's by far the oldest. I mean, 33, obviously not very old. Living standards of today, how long people live in general. But when you consider the fact legends like Jimmy Connors was at 30 when he last was #1 ranked. He's already beaten players like Connors Newcomb by 2.5, 3 years. It's been a remarkable turnaround for Agassi since 1999. You don't see Andre surprised very often. He thought that ball was going to go long. He didn't make a play for it. This was not struck particularly hard. Mishit, just dropped inside the line.
.6'4" El Aynaoui.
This court rewards speed more than any other court in the world, and El Aynaoui's got plenty of that. He's got power off his serve. He's got a very large forehand, and he moves hard.
He's actually worked extremely hard on his #1 conditioning, #2 on his movement, improved that quite a bit. We've seen that big, monstrous, literally huge forehand. That match against Roddick in Australia in the quarters was epic. The serves and the forehands that were struck over the course of a 21-19 fifth set of supremely high quality.
And you don't think of El Aynaoui in the same breath as Roddick or Rusetsky, yet his serve has been an incredible weapon for him this year, including the match before his win, or his match against Roddick was a win over Leighton Hewitt at the Australian Open. 33 aces in that match. Morocco is home. Residence now is Spain.
El Aynaoui has had a nice looking draw. Struggle with Massou, a clay courter from Chile, a wild card player here. Mark Hilton, no problem there.
Through those first 2 matches, Younes El Aynaoui struck 33 aces and served at 69%, and he'll have to serve that well against Agassi. I'm supposing that's going to drop because he's facing the greatest returner of serve in the world.
Well, I will mention that at the match you mentioned, Ted, Hewitt, #1, Roddick, #2, at 70% or above for both those matches in Australia. That shot is most effective on this surface. El Aynaoui slicing that one-hander, keeping it low.
Andre's wife was pretty good at that. Steffi Graf, winning 7 Wimbledon titles with the benefit of that tremendous slice backhand of hers. She is.
Not to mention the best condition. Something's got to give there.
This will be a beautiful match to watch, whatever happens. And Agassi so enjoys playing Younes El Aynaoui, not just because of how good his game is, but how much of a gentleman he is.
Agassi, by the way, is 4-0 lifetime against El Aynaoui. Last 2 matches, one this year and one last have been three-setters, a lot closer. And obviously, Steffi Graf, I suppose there's two possibilities. Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova as the fittest women of all time. I suppose you could get votes either way.
Net first service.
Andre talks about El Aynaoui's game and how much he respects and admires it, but also his impeccable sportsmanship. Andre says about El Aynaoui that he's just as good as it gets, on and off the court.
Deuce.
So first double fault.
El
This
Aynaoui's
game at deuce.
highest career ranking has been 15 a couple years back. This would be a chance for a monumental breakthrough for El Aynaoui if he were to get by Agassi.
Advantage Agassi.
Agassi's serve has improved over the years, which has allowed him to win more points and hold more easily than he did in the past. With a relatively easy backhand there, at least for him.
Again,
A big
Agassi.
second serve. So we begin this match on serve. He had been fairly anonymous, I think, to most in America, Younes El Aynaoui, until a memorable match in January at the Australian Open against Andy Roddick.
A five-set match, incredibly high quality for all 5 sets. Roddick made that shot and ended up winning this match. 21-19 in the fifth. But unfortunately, when he took that tumble, he landed badly on his wrist and really could not compete as well for the rest of the tournament as he did against Younes. But look at this. This is how much they admired and regarded themselves when it was all over.
That's the lingering memory I think most have, is how they handled themselves afterwards. John, you did the on-court interviews, and first thing Roddick did was talk about El Aynaoui, despite the fact that Andy had won the match.
And he's a very smart young man, and that was after going through what both of them went through, I would call again a classy thing to do, to acknowledge the effort of El Aynaoui.
He brings out the class in you.
We're talking about in a match 4 or 5-1 winners to errors, and that's over the course of a 5-hour affair.
Low 15.
El Aynaoui is going to look to keep Agassi off balance, but he's able to just hit shots from if he's on the back foot, the front foot, on the run, standing there, half volleys it appears. It's just amazing how well Andre's ground strokes are.
Which of these two right now is Andre's back foot?
Well, let's wait to see what if he hits a forehand or backhand. El Aynaoui shaking his head early in this match, but so far, again, time and time again, you see how well Agassi comes out of the gate. I mean, that's not your back foot. That's an easier shot. That's stepping in, leaning forward, technique superb. That's why he's so great, though. Even when he's off balance at times and on his back foot, he still comes up with shots. Like Roddick, El Aynaoui's bread and butter is that big first serve, which he gets in about 70%, which, by the way, is around where Roddick has been serving. And then just an absolutely massive shot there. I mean, number one, you can't tell where it's going. Number two, he can hit it any way he wants. If he's got that type of time, he's going to hit a lot of winners.
with that kind of serve, will El Aynaoui come in behind it?
Very rarely.
Oh, trouble already for Younes El Aynaoui. And that's going to be the measure of the match, is if he can hold serve.
15-40.
And we talk so much about how important it is, a first strike in tennis. But this shot from him has put him in a very dangerous position very early on. And that's why you'd have to give the edge to Agassi, even though the court is better designed for this man. He's capable of breaking serve better than anyone.
30-40.
And to answer your question, Ted, these two players have both played through 2 rounds, and combined, they've served and volleyed a total of 5 times. And not yet today.
Yeah. And if you look at the court, when the point starts, you can see. Look where all the wear is.
Deuce.
But remember that in that match when this man beat Hewitt, and you would say Hewitt and Agassi, the 2 best returners in the game, El Aynaoui never lost a serve, not once in that match.
Correction. Advantage, El Aynaoui.
There was a late call out by the umpire, but she put her hands. That's 3 aces for El Aynaoui, and he couldn't have come at a better time. Wow, that's the way to get your momentum back.
That's a statement, saves 2 break points and holds for 2 all. Well, you can follow Wimbledon along with our coverage online at wimbledon.msnbc.com. Bud Collins analyzing the men's draw. Tracy Austin for the women, and real-time scoring of all matches brought to you by British Airways.
Left.
Younes El Aynaoui's arrival in the tennis world was so unusual, coming from a land in Morocco that had never produced a major tennis player.
It's a shot you see more and more in the men's and women's game. Instead of blocking a volley, they just come in, take a full swing. And he's lucky here, El Aynaoui. He does not normally miss passing shots like that, Agassi. Looked like he was almost surprised he got a second chance there. That's the position, to me, Agassi would prefer to be in. Him stepping into backhands, trading them with El Aynaoui. I mean, he's certainly got a superior backhand.
Forty 15.
Get the feeling there that Younes El Aynaoui is he's still uptight, and he's not been able to get into the full flow. Some of that due, obviously, Agassi's play, but some of it's the nerves are floating around in that body, not gotten full gear yet. He's almost daring Andre to come into net. Balls that he could stay back on, or could be aggressive. And Andre prefers to stay at the baseline, but he's going to need to pick his spots here today.
Yeah, Agassi.
And there's the service winner. Agassi holds. Stay on serve in the first. Younes El Aynaoui to serve here at 2-3 in the first set. He was 18 years old, and he decided to leave his homeland of Morocco to follow his older brother, who was going to college in Bordeaux, France. Once in France, El Aynaoui decided to answer an ad that he saw for a tennis academy in Florida run by Nick Bollettieri, looking for employees. And one of the benefits of being an employee was that you also got a chance to live at the facility and play on some of the spare courts. To the dismay of his father, who wouldn't speak to him for months afterwards, El Aynaoui went to Florida and was hired as an employee at the Bollettieri camp, where one of the phenoms was Andre Agassi. And it's to the point now where very few people at the Bollettieri Academy remember that El Aynaoui was ever there. But he did. He drove buses, did all sorts of labor, and played on backcourts and developed his game at a very late age.
Which is why now he says, even though he's 31, which is considered a little elderly on the tennis circuit, he feels a lot younger. He's still improving. That is some story.
As Younes says, in Morocco, he said, I'm playing a sport that almost everyone in my country doesn't even understand.
El Aynaoui is going to be coming to the net and attacking more so than you'll see Agassi. And that's just the type of volley you want to hit there. Very, very short swing. He caught the ball on the side and just sliced it away from Andre for a winner. The quality of play is extremely high here in this match. I mean, that's where, when you're in that position, Ted and Mary, you better hit a winner. But he's got the capability to do it time and time again.
Net, second service.
It's funny when Younes El Aynaoui says that he grew up, dreaming to one day play Andre Agassi on a big stage. He's not talking about when he was 6. He was talking about when he was about 28.
Yes.
Deuce.
He missed 2 years in his mid-20s of playing with ankle surgeries. I mean, it's a remarkable story in that it was about 28 or 29 years of age when he finally blossomed, at an age when most are done.
And that's also why he works so extremely hard, because look what it's taken him to get to this point. I mean, this is a husband, father of 2, expecting another child. I mean, this guy is really a great, great story for our sport.
Well, I think he's shown Andre in the first 6 games here that we're going to be formidable. 3-all first set. And Look at this. After the age of 30, it's kicked in.
Imagine how it'll be at 60.
Yeah.
These two guys will not be allowed to play the seniors tour, at least till 45, 50. Way too good right now. He's known to make an effort on the tennis court, that's for sure. I got to work on that one, save it for a bigger point. Dive.
Out. 30 love.
Javier Moreno.
I tell you what it shows, again, what Mary was talking about, the respect that Agassi has for El Aynaoui, because he looked up at Younes and said, sorry, it was just a half an inch out.
And Younes believed him.
Yeah.
Just walked away.
It's just like when me and Connors
30.
played. It's the same type of
The same
repartee.
dynamic.
Memory's a wonderful thing, isn't it,
It
John?
was a love fest.
Yes, yeah, it's just things do seem to change. That's good defense from El Aynaoui.
30
Tantalizing, floating the ball back. There, Agassi had to generate his own pace, and he made a mistake there mentally, trying to hit it too hard from that far behind the baseline.
Is El Aynaui's backhand, would you term it a weakness?
It's a good backhand for grass, certainly. You know, on this court, and people used to say, well, Steffi Graf's backhand is a lot worse than her forehand. I'm telling you, that deep slice backhand on grass worked beautifully for her. Okay, that thing barely comes up.
What can be taken advantage of, and Roddick did this in his match down in Australia, even late into the fifth set, is to attack the his backhand off the serve and to come in on it. But that's not Andre's game, so that allows El Aynaoui to sort of just slice it back into the court. A bigger server would present more problems for El Aynaoui.
Oh, there was your point. Right?
Well, he's not that comfortable, but
Right.
you know, Roddick started just kicking the serve and coming in on it. There's not a lot of players that like that. And here we have a break point. El Aynaui's first of the match. Obviously a shot that Andre should have done better with there. Surprising miss.
And El Aynaoui will say the same.
They're even for this game. He knows that he can't just miss returns like that if he's going to try to beat an Andre Agassi.
Advantage El Aynaoui.
Another unforced error. Slip up right now by Agassi.
Advantage Agassi.
I see what you mean about that slice backhand, Barry. You see 3 in a row there. The third one just sailing long.
Now, Agassi will continue to go there, hoping that it breaks down like that in a long enough rally.
It does have a tendency to float. And he's got to keep his concentration high, El Aynaoui out there. That's well done.
Game Agassi.
That was the first tough service game for Agassi, but he holds.
Agassi leads by 4 games to 3. First set.
How about that? Blue skies and sunshine. Why don't you break into song, John? That's your cue.
We want people to stay and keep the channel on.
Well, the championships Wimbledon on this first Saturday. And here on center court, Andre Agassi trying to reach the round of 16 where Andy Roddick already exists. On this Saturday last year, America's hopes rested on the shoulders of Jeff Morrison. Remember that? He was the last American standing last year. One of the great comments I think we've heard during these first week at Wimbledon is Andre Agassi talking about the brewing unrest amongst the players who wish to get a bigger cut of money from the 4 slams. And Andre Agassi, when asked about it, has said, I really don't want to talk about that during Wimbledon. I respect these championships too much. And when you think back to the first part of Agassi's career and his disdain for Wimbledon,
15-all.
what a wonderful change that is.
He said we should not talk about this in Wimbledon's backyard.
Well, that's also, by the way, misrepresenting the player's position. Because let's hope it's not simply about an increase in prize money at the big tournaments.
They won't win that PR war.
Well, that's
30,
called,
15.
you know, I know this is hard to believe, but sometimes you can't always believe what you read. You hope there's more to it. Pension issues.
That's still money. I'm sorry. That's still about money.
Pension issue?
Yeah.
Pension issues?
Yeah, that's money.
Players that play here, Mary, when there's
14,
virtually no
15.
prize money, that, you know, don't have any money now, to give them something to live on. I mean, I hardly call that an issue of money. I mean, yeah, I guess technically you're talking about.
I think that's money.
It's money that should be properly spent.
Very nice game for Younes El Aynaoui.
Well, now he holds for 4-all.
4 games all.
We look at the payout in prize money during these championships, Wimbledon.
$14,000 just to get in the first round here.
The only thing I would worry about for the tennis players is that they may learn what the baseball players in the United States learned last fall, which is that right now in this climate in our world, the public has very little stomach for any dispute involving money.
You're talking about, well, there's Andre's first day. So you're talking about a
15,
place here,
11.
Wimbledon. It's for this 2 weeks alone, is making in excess of $75–80 million for 2 weeks. Now, I hear a lot of these owners saying they're not making money, at least claiming that. How about a suggestion to use a bunch of that money to make tennis a more accessible game around the world, including the United States? Affordable.
Amen to that.
Implement a calendar that makes the slightest bit of sense. You remember Davis Cup? There used to be, you're supposed to represent your country, the Olympics. These are the issues. They're issues that the players want to deal with. They don't seem to have a commissioner in tennis for some reason.
Don't go there again.
I've allotted my time already.
Well, that's what Andre needed. Nice quick game. Holds at love.
Of late, and she was hoping to come to Wimbledon and regain the great form that she has shown here before. She had her big breakthrough here not that many years ago. Sharapova has been playing well and in more ways than one, making a lot of noise here at Wimbledon. Very, very loud, long grunt, more a squeal when she hits the ball.
15 left.
And that seems to have obscured the attention on, or at least the focus that should be on her obvious talent.
Don't tell me she's come from Bolletari's too.
She has.
Yes.
Does train there.
Nick, his head is huge.
15 all.
Robert Lansdorp out in California has worked on her game as well. And he describes the noise she makes as that of a peacock. 15 all.
That's creative.
Excellent.
El Aynaoui knows he has to stand strong on his serve here at 4-5.
30,
He's
15.
6'4". I mean, he hits a high percentage of first serves in the court. He hits with power, but he also places it extremely well. You can see why he is so difficult to break.
Well, how about the first serve percentage? As we see him miss one there. Before that was 83% for this first set.
Forty, 15.
Measly 80% now.
Forty, 13.
El Aynaoui would like to take that forehand back. As big as he hits that shot, he had Agassi off the court. I mean, he could have wound one up and really gave that a ride. Said he tried to too cute a drop shot. Missed it by a lot.
Game El Aynaoui.
Well, El Aynaoui had one struggling service game. Otherwise solid here on NBC. So that'll be following our Breakfast at Wimbledon coverage of the ladies' final.
And that's a tough shot to read for Agassi, because he spent the whole set knifing that backhand, slicing it most of the time deep. He fooled Andre there. We've got our first upset today. Alexander Popp, the half-Brit, half-German, has defeated Yuri Novak in straight sets. That's out-and-out luck, but he'll take it.
Love 30.
And now, love 30. As you see the Popp result, Popp, one of those names you seem to hear only at Wimbledon.
He grew up in Germany. His father's English. He speaks
yeah.
That works.
And suddenly, 3 points have changed this set completely.
Two of those
14.
points were a little bit lucky for Younes El Aynaoui. That one was extremely sincere.
15-40.
And Andre needs to dig deep into his bag of service tricks here. game. And that defense again. El Aynaoui somehow dropped that shot in. And he finally breaks. And after a rather strange walk around the net, will sit down and prepare to serve for the first set. The final point of this previous game, this shot by Andre is clearly out. And El Aynaoui, Mary walking over just to confirm it.
Well, Andre was looking up a little bit. El Aynaoui did that just for his opponent. And once Agassi acknowledged that from El Aynaoui, he walked over and took it. First set to Younes.
What was surely more amazing, Mary, was the fact that it looked all but Agassi's point, and that lobbed it. El Aynaoui throw was unbelievable. Landed just inside both lines, allowed him to get back into the point. Now the break in hand. He's very close to winning this first set.
Well, you sometimes need a game like that to pull off a surprise. El Aynaoui had the net court point and the lob that dropped in that same game.
30,
and now 2 points from the set.
Timely drop shot. Typical forehand that we mortals dream of. And lo and behold, he's 2 points away from winning this first set.
$30-15.
Well, it's the right idea to try to sort of guide that to the open court, but rarely does El Aynaoui even attempt that shot.
$40-15.
I'll tell you what, I'll teach him that shot he just missed. If he can teach me how to hit that forehand.
But another, just a strong serving set. 78% first serves, 8 aces. And that emphatically finishes it. If he can serve like that, the rest of this may be a long day for Agassi.
Back at Wimbledon, let's get you back to the El Aynaoui-Agassi match. Second set, El Aynaoui serving at 2-3.
Andre Agassi used to think of playing at Wimbledon was an inconvenience to his schedule.
That's not.
That's back in the teenage years.
Oh, boy.
And now he cherishes this championship so much. He's found himself in a fierce fight.
Well, that was an inconvenient shot to El Aynaoui.
Love 15.
Agassi was able to scoop up that forehand. Guessed right, went to the open court. You could certainly say he regretted it, but now it's made him appreciate it more, so it all worked out in the end.
His first Wimbledon experience was bad. I mean, it was cold and it was rainy the whole time, and he didn't play well. He's gotten a feel for it now.
15-all.
We've had an excellent first week weather-wise, but certainly conditions can change. There, Andre hoping perhaps a little bit. It was very, very close, that serve. Did catch the line.
Yeah, Andre didn't see a lot of this the first time he came over.
Yes, this is London.
That's a major upset.
Think about it, Andre was 16 when he played that match. The first time he played at Wimbledon. Younes El Aynaoui, the first match he ever won here was just shy of his 28th birthday in 1999.
Good. For service.
first time I
30-all.
ever saw El Aynaoui play was at the French in 1995. In the second round, he was playing a guy named by Patrick McEnroe. I said, listen, this guy, he doesn't move too well. I hear he's got a decent forehand, but you shouldn't have any problem with him. I guess that's why Patrick's coaching the Davis Cup now. El Aynaoui's turned out to be quite a player. Forehand's a little better than I thought.
Andre keeps
40-30.
getting the door slightly ajar,
That's right.
but he can't push through. It was 15-30 now. Game point.
El Aynaoui won that match rather easily, by the way. Went on to get to the round of 16 where he played Andre Agassi.
Yes.
Both players are working extremely hard out there. This is an opportunity for Agassi to get some momentum.
It's so different when we watched Andre Agassi lose at the French Open this year, and he looked pretty good going into that match against the Spaniard Coria, and then he just looked very tired. And on clay, oh, that's beautiful. On clay, it could be
Advantage El Aynaoui.
5 or 10 years can make a difference. On grass, 1 or 2 points can make a difference.
Game El Aynaoui.
Big first serve can make a difference, too. I mean, that's the other thing I didn't see that El Aynaoui now possesses is
3
absolutely
games all.
huge first serve.
This has to be a mental challenge now to Andre, because this great returner, he's had some opportunity and has not been able to take advantage. No breaks yet.
He's been through that before, too.
What was it you told him? Was it 11 years ago?
That he could do well here?
15-11.
Give him what little inspiration he needed. And you know, the match that he won in the finals when he beat Ivan Izevich was an example of one where he barely got hints at breaks. He's starting to be more aggressive on the serve. You know, he's picked up on that
13-11.
play. He's making life easier for himself. Moving in with some serves, kicking it out to the El Aynaoui backhand. That's excellent touch from Andre Agassi there. Andre Agassi, serve volley.
Rolls off
2 in
the
a row.
top.
Yeah.
40-11.
Here he comes, right in. You know, it's a part of his game that in '99 when he had that miraculous run at the French, it turned that match around against the defending champ at the time, Carlos Moya. He served better, to me, markedly better server the last 4 years. He's
14-15.
volleyed better. He was way down in that match, turned it around, won the tournament. He's been knocking at the doors of majors ever since. Just contender every time he steps on that court.
Game Agassi.
So Andre is back with a quick hold. Stay on serve in the second set.
Agassi leads by
She is through to the round of 16.
She's 16 and she's blowing kisses to the crowd.
just love those grass court points.
That's what it's coming down to. It's still
15.
remarkable to see. It's a new phenomenon, but more often you see two men out there just slugging away from the baseline.
And this court is playing so true that they don't worry about bad bounces. I mean, it's very unusual when something funny goes on this grass, this rye grass.
Net for service.
Well, the weather's been unusually warm here and dry the last 3-4 weeks leading up to it, so that's going to get the court firmer, the bounce truer, and allow these baseliners to feel even more comfortable back there. Not feel the need to get into the net that much.
Back at the
15
baseline,
all.
it looks like it's turning into a clay court. And Andre Agassi always says about Wimbledon, if you can get past that first week, it really becomes more of a hard court situation for you. The ball's going to kick up as the grass gets, you know, chopped up more and more. Less and less of the green stuff. Not all the sliding that he's facing today.
Fifteen, 13.
Andre's tired of this Groundhog Day routine. Seems like he's been 15-30 a lot. He's had 3 break points.
This is what El Aynaoui's been able to do consistently from this position, to serve his way out of trouble. We talk about it. You have to marvel at it. I mean, we're getting close to 2 sets done, and he's still up at 78% for first serve percentage, averaging that harder serve each time he steps up there to the baseline.
14, 13.
That was very well placed as well, with some spin moving away from Agassi. You can see what he's up against. And then he can follow it up with that forehand.
It's almost like it's a cruel tease. He lets Andre get a little taste of a break and slams that shut. 4-all.
What will be a very, I know I'm looking ahead, but 2 Americans left played in the final. Agassi, Roddick. Be a very similar type of match. Don't want to jump to any conclusions, but breakfast at Wimbledon would be awful nice.
Oh! 15, 11.
Again, what that's forced El Aynaoui to do, the fact that Andre's been willing to come in now some on that serve, is to look out of the corner of eye to check to see if Agassi will be attacking. You take your eye off the ball for that split second. That's enough for a complete miss hit. Agassi's had a pretty good day serving himself.
40, 11.
El Aynaoui's fastest topping the 130 mark.
Andre's good serving isn't predicated on speed. It's much more about placement.
40, 15.
He's obviously feeling a lot of pressure serving because El Aynaoui's doing such a good job of taking care of his own. It's Andre's second double fault.
The next opponent potentially for Agassi, presuming he wins, Mark Philippoussis, Radek Stepanek are fighting out. It's set all. Philippoussis up a break in the third. There's another guy who can hit some pretty big ball and serve.
And we move on. Another hold by Agassi keeps this set on serve. Rolex, the official timekeeper of the championships Wimbledon. 1 hour, 20 minutes on court on the Saturday afternoon in London. #1 in the world, Andre Agassi, the oldest man to ever hold that honor. He's had it twice this year.
He's not going to make the mistake there. I mean, it's a remarkable feat for Agassi. He's already got a Grand Slam under his belt.
15.
You see him here in this point, moving El Aynaoui side to side. See, he gets himself in position so well there and keeps his steps small, so he's balanced and wins the first game of this 10th game of the second set. First point, I should say.
El Aynaoui had the same situation first set, had to hold at 4-5, did, and then broke at 5-all.
Well, you just feel like it's going to pay off for Agassi.
Love
Here
30.
now, love 30. That's a step better than 15-30. He's got El Aynaoui yelling himself. He missed a ball that he normally makes. Long point, he's going to have to pull out another rabbit out of the hat. A couple serves. He's going to get if he's going to get out of this game. Dum-da-dum-dum.
But you sit here and you marvel at the effort of an Andre Agassi just to get that serve back.
That's why you make that effort, because you never know. If a guy tightens up, yeah, he's probably going to lose the point, but someone who worked with Mary and I, Harry Hopman, a great captain of the past, always said that to us when we were playing 10, 12 years old. Stick your racket out.
Yep.
There it is.
And very quickly, like you said, Mary, it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
It was that quick in the first set for El Aynaoui, and just as quick for Agassi to level the match.
Back at Wimbledon, let's rejoin the Agassi El Aynaoui match. Third set, El Aynaoui serving 3-4.
We'll move on. It's been a very orderly match. One break of service determined each of the first 2 sets. No breaks in the third. Despite the fact it's 2 guys playing from the baseline.
15-11.
It's some wonderful shot making.
Quality's certainly been high in this match. It's evident to anyone who's watched. Extremely close third round encounter here.
What about?
Game, El Aynaoui.
No 4-all here tomorrow, a week 1 recap. Noon Eastern here on NBC.
$15-11.
El Aynaoui uses that slice in
15 all.
several ways, which is very important to watch if you're someone out there trying to compete, because he floats it back when he needs to get himself back to the center of the court, give himself some more time. He went after that one, kept it low. He sometimes plays short. He's really
Jeff Tarango, who coached El Aynaoui for a while, played doubles with him for a long time, said he really tried to convince El Aynaoui that his backhand, rather than being a weakness, he could use it at times as a weapon.
He let that one get away from him. But also what it does is the forehand seems like it's coming even faster when he lines that one up. So he keeps you on edge.
Caught that one a little late, didn't he?
That's called the nerves of the situation, or to set all 4-all. That was a 15-30 point, and Agassi did to him what he's been doing to Agassi for quite a bit of this match. Come back with the ace on a big point.
Eighth ace for Agassi. El Aynaoui has served 12. So Agassi holds for the third straight set. El Aynaoui will serve a 4-5 game. Wonderful look down on the grounds of the All England Club on this gorgeous Saturday in London. Andre Agassi having a match that you sort of expected, Jim.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have been around El Aynaoui the last couple of years and recognize what he's capable of. I must say the music is improving quite nicely at NBC. A little rock and roll.
You like that?
You're darn right I do. Combination of tradition and some edge. Oh, boy, that is not fair. That is the weirdest, wackiest drop shot that hit the baseline I've ever seen.
And Andre's not laughing about it.
Yeah. Well, we should credit the grounds crew, as Mary mentioned how firm the bounce has been at Wimbledon, which is true. Those shots weren't as unusual in years past. Great point.
Well, a better example of how El Aynaoui can play defense.
He just put his racket out, swung at it, and went in. That's a one-handed backhand pass. An excellent one at that.
30-15.
Agassi was ready, composed.
He couldn't have struck it better. That's just very high quality stuff. I've seen a lot worse matches than this one. A lot.
And it's El Aynaoui now trying to put that 4-5 game away. This is where he was broken to lose the second set.
40-13.
But there is something about Andre, isn't it, that brings out a high quality in matches, especially on center court.
Which is exactly why you want to see him keep playing a little longer.
hangs around a while too.
Well, it's 5-all now in the third. As we've just
5 games all.
past 2 hours on court. I think in recent years, obviously the Sampras Agassi final here in '99, but those 2 5-set semifinals back-to-back years that Agassi and Rafter played, the contrasting styles may have been as fine at tennis as center court has seen.
And this was the point in the first set where Agassi dropped his serves.
Love 15.
He hits what he thought was a good first serve out wide. And with that reach, El Aynaoui just strikes a winner. That's what you call well-timed. Yep. And if he wants to improve, which he says he can, and I'm talking El Aynaoui here, I'd like to see him step in closer to the baseline on that return at times. Take it earlier.
Thirty 15.
Both men have had an excellent day serving. Again, there's an example where he'd make life a little easier for himself. I mean, he was way behind the baseline. Agassi got him on the run. As this match goes to a 4th and possibly 5th set, if that wear and tear will get to him. Amazingly, it didn't seem to when he played Roddick, that memorable 5th set, 5-setter.
So Agassi with the hold. And now we'll come back with the conclusion of the third set.
Agassi leads by 6 games to 5.
Well, this is the custom here at the All England Club. Folks wandering, people with grounds passes. A lot of these folks are watching other matches and they're killing time until they can get to Henman Hill and watch Tim Henman play on center court. But Tim Henman's going to sit a while in stew because this has been a terrific battle. El Aynaoui trying to get the third set to a tiebreak.
It's just
15,
you cover the Mets, Ted. It's like a fastball pitcher going against a guy who hits his best against fastballs. I mean, they're just firing away at each other.
And that's the matchup you love. One guy's best against another's.
By the way, I'm sure you're happy to be here at Wimbledon. Speaking of the Mets, that's a pretty sorry situation.
You couldn't let me get through one day without mentioning
I had to
that,
just,
could you?
you know, as a Mets fan myself, it's really. He tried every type of slice backhand you can come up with.
30 15.
Try to keep one that stayed very close to the ground, one that floated, one sort of middle ground. Agassi just stuck with it. these two guys working out here.
It's a little hard to believe that one of these guys is going to lose in the third round.
40-15.
This should be played deep into the second week of Wimbledon.
Two chances for El Aynaoui to push this set to a tiebreak.
Even El Aynaoui, as fit as he is breathing hard right now. Trying to muster up the energy to hit another big first serve, take this to a third set tiebreaker.
And suddenly those 2 points are gone. And now it's deuce.
He was still tired, wasn't he, John, when he tried to serve?
I think you're right. And you see Andre's got a little more bounce getting back to deuce.
But as you notice, tennis players improve their conditioning as the years have gone on. It's amazing how fast they do recover. Running all out, stopping. You know, you could see he was sucking for some air there, but he got it back in time for that serve. 2 straight aces.
Wow. El Aynaoui, aces 14 and 15, push this set to a tiebreak.
Agassi to serve.
Quite a few for El Aynaoui this year. Edge, do you believe the edge goes to the bigger server?
I believe the edge goes to the better player. That is Agassi, but El Aynaoui with that big serve. Forget that forehand too that he possesses. Is not a guy, when you look on the other side of the net, you feel all that comfortable with. That's for sure in this tiebreak situation. It used to be, Ted, that you thought that the more aggressive and the player who got to the net faster had the significant edge. And the style that the players play, more baseline play from the men too, it's just it's harder to predict.
Out.
Ooh, that's a tough overrule there. It was not called by the linesman.
El Aynaoui's fluent in 6 languages, which helps him with Javier Moreno.
He lives in Barcelona, so obviously he speaks Spanish. That's a tough call there to make. I mean, was that clearly long? Take a look from the far side of the court. And that's he's lost a point, though. He's going to have to regroup here at such a critical juncture in the third set.
Well, that's the thing. You talk about that the aggressor should win a tiebreak, but they're both aggressive in their own ways. You cannot be a more aggressive baseliner than Andre Agassi, and again, that return just earned him that second point.
Well, it was a good return, but it's El Aynaoui's mind right now that he's got to get back onto this court because he's still upset about that call. I can tell you from experience.
3-1 Agassi.
And after 2 hours plus of joy, it's the first time we've seen this from El Aynaoui.
And the problem is it's more than that El Aynaoui maybe thinking to himself that his shot was good. His much bigger problem is that the chair umpire would call an overrule for the first time in the match in a third set tiebreak. And that, to me, is more distressing to players than when there's you know, a questionable call.
It was not a clear mistake from where he was. Unfortunate, but he's not out of this set yet. He's 2-4 down as they switch sides.
Agassi.
And one more serve for El Aynaoui. I think you can tell the toll this match is taking on both men. They made it. It was a clear pit stop.
He's rebounding now. He's back out there, in with the chance at 4-3. He's pumped himself back up. Took him probably 3 or 4 points.
He lost 4 in a row. That was. Now he needs to win 1 back on Andre's serve.
Agassi.
You know what El Aynaoui's thinking. Why didn't you overrule that call on the baseline? You know, that was as far out as the one I hit. Just looking up at Moreno and discussing. By the way, the ball was in. It clipped the back of the line, or maybe it was the identical spot. Very, very similar type of shot. It's down 3 set points.
6-4 Agassi. Net for service.
Great.
That's vintage Agassi there.
And that slightest slip by El Aynaoui early in the tiebreak gave Agassi the opening. And it's still not done. 1 set to go.
Agassi leads by 2 sets to 1.
Back at the All England Club, Andre Agassi and Younes El Aynaoui putting on quite a show. We pick it up now, 4th set, 2 games apiece. El Aynaoui serving.
So the 4th set marches on as the first 3 began. No breaks. Oh, and now another decision from the chair. Andre looking.
15-11.
This time Andre questioning the chair. Moreno called that point out.
Oh, he says, so you're getting too involved here now. Just call the score.
Oh. 30-11.
Well, it's been an afternoon here where we've seen some names resurface. As you mentioned, Mark Philippoussis just winning to reach the round of 16. Mary Pierce has done the same on the ladies' side. Two-time Grand Slam champion. Been off the radar for quite a while.
Well, there's two players that have battled mightily with injuries.
Net for service.
It'd be nice to see some level of rejuvenation success for those two. Mary Pierce has won a Grand Slam. It seems a long time. 2 Grand Slams. Again. It's also picking the right time to do it. When your opponent, he sees how far behind the baseline and off the court he is. Balance is off.
Game, El Aynaoui.
And El Aynaoui makes that move with an ace. On serve in 3-2 El Aynaoui in the fourth. Our Charles Schwab power points as we'll watch Andre Agassi.
Well, Agassi's done an excellent job with the serve. He's gotten more power as career has went on. His quickness is still amazing for a guy at 33 years of age. He just prepares so well, gets himself in position so often that he makes tough shots look easy. And time again, it's Agassi who gets the job done out there. Amazing career.
Well, he's lurking now. He's looking for that one final break that could put this away. But this is the first set of the 4 in which El Aynaoui served first.
$15-11.
It's a shot that you see used successfully, particularly on this surface and clay, where you go behind your opponent. Another example of Agassi being aggressive, picking his spots.
30-11.
El Aynaoui, quite honestly, letting him do that. That's the one adjustment that El Aynaoui could make in his game that would make things a little easier for him. Getting tired watching.
I'm just waiting for somebody to try to slide.
40-11.
No question that El Aynaoui's breathing hard right now.
You know, wasn't it about 2 years ago here when the cry was all about the points being too quick?
That's just to end the game.
Agassi.
Give him some extra time to prepare here. 3-all in the fourth. Then, wasn't it last year, Mary, they went to this rye grass?
Mm-hmm. It used to be a mix of something called creeping red fescue and rye.
And I hate when
that's
that
doing your
happens.
homework. Creeping red fescue?
Yeah.
Yes. And now here it's 100% rye, which is supposed to be a lot sturdier and makes for a harder, I mean, it's just, it lasts longer. It's supposed to stay green longer as well, although with all the sun, obviously, the court's getting browned up pretty quickly. The sun and the baseline use. But there's only so much you can quicken up a grass court. I mean, eventually, what's more important at Wimbledon are the conditions of the grass are important, but the balls are heavier. And
That's
Again,
not what the
weather
people
really,
from Slazenger will tell you.
yeah,
They completely and wholeheartedly disagree with that.
They say it's the same as last year, but people thought last year the balls were heavier. And again, the weather changes the behavior of the grass courts as well. They're playing pretty hard and dry.
But this is the first year in 10 years that the balls are being made in a different location, despite the fact the specifications are exactly the same. Could the players know something?
Net, second service.
But you don't hear the guys besides Henman complaining a whole lot. That's right.
Draft the other night? We found one, huh?
I think he did get drafted by the Suns.
We know where Hewitt is, though. He's been here the whole time. He's continued on to watch his girlfriend, Kim Kleisters, play here at Wimbledon, which probably makes it even more agonizing that he went out in the first round.
But again, the stories you see of this Ivo Karlovic, who basically says, I owe it all to Goran. He was the trailblazer from my country. I was so thrilled to get a phone call from Goran after beating Hewitt.
Karlovic got to the third round where another big hitter, Max Mirny, beat him yesterday in 4 sets. And Agassi again thankful to have a nice easy game here.
11 aces. Wow, that's been on.
He's on a roll.
That shot's been on fire.
These two are now playing such high quality tennis. 4-all. This match, there's nothing between these two at this stage.
2 hours, 42 minutes on court. Rolex, the official timekeeper of the championships Wimbledon.
You see these service games going fairly quickly now. I mean, at this stage in a match like this on grass, you want to play every other game very well, and then look for your chances on return.
Well, El Aynaoui has now entered the danger zone where he knows that if he doesn't hold, it could be his last service game.
It's so impressive to watch the way Agassi gets down, prepared, and stays through that shot, finishes the shot. And that ball has a lot of pace that El Aynaoui's hitting. He makes it look easy. He gets depth. It's one of the great backhands I've ever had the pleasure of watching.
Yeah, but how was it to face?
Not quite as nice.
30-15.
John, you've been working with Boris Becker at the BBC, and earlier this week, Becker said of Agassi that he's a real man's man and that it must bug him to sit across at the breakfast table and see a woman, this one, who was more successful in terms of majors. And Andre Agassi, without missing a beat,
40-15.
answered the reporter by saying, well, you know, if Boris joined us for breakfast, she'd still be more successful than both of us. Add both of our accomplishments together, and we couldn't be close.
Well said.
Very well said.
40-13.
again, you have to admire how well and how quickly he moves up to a shot. He doesn't wait for it. And he puts himself in the best possible position time after time. There's no question that El Aynaoui is giving 100%. That's been a given since this match started.
But now he knows he's getting to that zone. It's deuce.
Wasn't sure if he should hit it.
Yep. Wishes he hadn't.
Agassi.
Well, this is about as close to sudden death as you get in tennis for El Aynaoui. Break point.
That's digging deep in the well. That's going to what you do best.
Deuce.
Good first serve in, and then just from that position, it is impossible to tell where he's going to hit it. Excuse me.
This set, as Agassi hit some incredible shots.
Advantage, Agassi.
Things happen in a hurry on grass.
Oh. The drop shots, the return winners.
Another break point.
But then you look up at the scoreboard, and it's 4-all deuce.
Right.
It just shows you the quality
Deuce.
of El Aynaoui out there as well. Wait, that's not fair.
Advantage,
That is
Agassi.
going to be tough for Younes to overcome. If on top of everything else, Andre gets let cords like this.
Third break point. Out on the baseline.
Deuce.
There's no question there. That ball was long. I think Andre knew at the moment he hit it. Second life for El Aynaoui here. Still fighting away.
Advantage, El Aynaoui.
Well, I'm not quite sure why
Yes.
he tried to hit that second serve so hard.
That was a 125-mile-an-hour second serve.
Not even close there. That was a temporary freeze, brain
Brain
freeze.
cramp.
Smacks himself in the head after he hits his
Advantage,
forehand winner. It's just don't try this again, that second serve.
What work?
This feels like next Sunday.
Deuce.
Agassi working so hard on that point to keep this game going.
That's what you call controlled aggression, because he knows the moment he gives El Aynaoui any time to line up that forehand, he could be in trouble.
Advantage El Aynaoui.
There's that time I was talking about. I mean, he's lethal. Younes El Aynaoui. He's just one of the top couple forehands in the game, undoubtedly.
Agassi refuses to go away in this game.
It's more fatiguing to have to stand up there and keep hitting serves than it is to return. It looks to be the wear and tear at the moment. El Aynaoui, it's just about gotten to him. Now, having said that, he'll probably prove me wrong and hit an ace.
Advantage El Aynaoui.
He's really used that serve. Kicking out wide on Agassi's forehand.
He can hit it as hard as he can up the middle. Agassi's got to respect that, so that opens the door. At 6'4", he's used his height well. Andre likes to say meat and potatoes,
Yes.
so he just gets the job done. There's an example. He don't do anything fancy. He could have swung hard, hit the overhead, but instead he just solidly hits that volley away for a winner. Stays in the game.
The 8th deuce.
Advantage El Aynaoui.
And now he will just not go away. Again, there's that forehand. It's just, to say it's world class is an understatement.
Again, El Aynaoui.
Finally, El Aynaoui will enjoy this chance to sit. Well, after a magnificent 9th game, we'll see if that took a toll on either player, as Agassi will serve at 4-5. If you could read anything into body language,
Net
you're walking
for
to the
service.
chair. Agassi looked determined and resolute. El Aynaoui looked like he needed a nap.
Wait, please. Thank you. Oh! 15 love. 15 all.
This is 4-5, 15 all. No time to let down.
Agassi would love here, obviously, is a quick game, but El Aynaoui right back on the defensive.
Net for service. Net for service.
And Agassi gets
Game
that
over.
game. 5 all.
New balls, please.
And El Aynaoui, who is the player without the safety net right now, has to go right back to serve after a marathon game at 4 all.
And I'm sure it feels like he's right back serving. That's exactly what Agassi wants. The one advantage he's got now is he's got some new balls. The ball's going to go through the air. Agassi goes through his...
How about that? They say he brings 18 rackets with him.
And he changes rackets after every
ball change.
Ball change.
Have you ever heard of that? Has anybody, you guys ever heard of anybody bring 18 rackets?
Board, but at least that many.
Is that right?
I brought a lot too, but it's for different reasons.
15-11.
Ivan Lendl really started that trend.
13-11.
He was very picky about his equipment, and every time there was a ball change, he'd change his racket, and now so many of the guys do that. You don't see too many of the women players do that. And El Aynaoui didn't switch.
Agassi at his best again. Pete Sampras, he used to bring 7, 8, 9 on the court, have them all strung up for the match. And then the next day he'd get a whole new set. You know, even if he only used 2 or 3 of them, he'd restring all of them for practice and then restring all of them for the match again. That's when it pays to be a stringer. It's more lucrative than it used to be. That's why you see
saying the balls.
Jay Schweid, who's you know, owns that custom Jay string, and he's up in the box now with Agassi.
Right.
I mean,
That ball, I think that ball had a little bit of rubber in it.
stringers weren't even allowed in the stadium in the old days.
Is that right?
Now they're in the players' box.
Yeah, now he wants that ball out.
Sometimes a little piece of rubber from goes inside of the ball, and obviously that's what happened. These are new balls. And El Aynaoui, look at that. He
14-15.
apologized for the weight when Agassi netted that return.
Well, that's what El Aynaoui needed. He has an easy game. So we're straight ahead to the culmination of the 4th set. Just over 3 hours on court. The spectators at center court appreciate what they've seen. And it's not over yet. Agassi has been dominant on his serve.
This is called wide. The linesman never made a call.
Never made a call.
That's why Agassi's looking at Javier Moreno. See, he's diving for balls he doesn't even touch because it clips the tape. You can see from that replay was wide.
Nice changeup.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
So well done by El Aynaoui. First 2 points. Talk about heart rate increase from Agassi. Just seeing him coming at him.
Suddenly.
Very suddenly.
Quick again. He had lost only 3 points on serve the whole set. First 2 points here. And now they're staring straight in the eyes of a 5th set.
La 40.
New shot in the arsenal there. The chip forehand. How big has it paid off for him here?
Late for service.
And remember that it was El Aynaoui that had to save 3 break points in that long game at 4-all. And Andre, you know, at that point was thinking
15-40.
that he could see the finish line. And suddenly, he's staring at a 5th set.
That was, by the way, a second surveys.
30-40.
Just when you thought we couldn't see stuff of any higher quality or some new little magical addition to this match, it's come along. Let's see if El Aynaoui charges now. He's had such great success in this game already.
Deuce. Advantage Agassi.
How about that escape?
El Aynaoui thought the serve was out. He still thinks it's out.
6 games all, 4 set. Tiebreak.
3 set points saved by Andre.
That's why he thought it was out, Mary. See, he had those 3 set points, it slipped away.
El Aynaoui to serve.
And now we go to a tie break again.
1-0 El Aynaoui.
We see a lot of great tennis all year long, but I've seen 2 superlative matches, and this guy's been in both of them.
1-0.
And this guy's played so many of these on this court.
2-1 Agassi.
This guy's just pounding away with the serves here. This is over 3 hours into this match. That's a nice fake. It looked like he was going to hit the drop shot.
El Aynaoui.
That's what Andre thought was going to happen. He just completely fooled him.
And you think about that match in Australia, and how did that guy and Roddick do that for what was it, about 7.5 sets?
No tiebreaker here in the 5th set either. Gonna clip the line.
Flirting with trouble. 3-all as they change ends. Now we saw Agassi make a stop. He'll do the same. And the sun that had conveniently gone into hiding for the players for about 5 minutes is back out.
It's absolutely fabulous backhand. I mean, you put that in a book, and that's how you teach a two-handed backhand.
4-3 Agassi.
He's stepping in with authority on a big, big point. Hoping El Aynaoui will just miss a couple first serves here so he can finish this off in 4 sets. Still El Aynaoui above 70% for the match. First serve percentage. Just seeing El Aynaoui coming in, serving and volleying. Agassi pulled up just that little bit. It's amazing how these two players are trying to outthink each other.
For Agassi.
Frustrated. Now the match goes to Agassi's serve. 2 serves at 5-4.
Snapped that racket and you just already given it away to someone in the crowd. He hit it on the ground. So a switch at a critical time in this 4-set tiebreak. Not the ideal time to have to switch rackets.
6 for Agassi.
Finally, exhaustingly for Agassi, you gotta be 2 match points.
And 5 minutes ago, when he was facing 3 set points against, he couldn't have figured this.
Agassi. 3 sets to 1. 5-7, 6-4, 7-6, 7-6.
Listen to this appreciation.
So well handled by Agassi. It's a standing ovation. He let Younes have his applause, and he stepped out into that center court.
I wonder,
you can't ask for anything better than what we just watched.
I wonder how many third-round matches in the history of the championships have produced that response.
Ready. Wait till you hear what they're going to give Younes a huge hand, too.
As you said, Mary Ellen, now he's been involved in 2 extraordinary matches this year. Much to his credit, now he'd just like to win one of them. That's all that's missing. And Andre Agassi, that can't feel like just another third-round win to him.
His reaction to it says everything.